Alexa, turn the light on. Good morning, people. This morning I had to look better for you because yesterday I was, just got up and just started making a video. But today I wanted to be very happy because we're having a good day. The stock market is up. All of the stocks are doing good because of Joe Biden. Trump is out. And some people, they still think that Trump got a chance. Some of his supporters, especially in the dark tunnel of Fox News, they're still letting people think that Trump still could flip the election, even though the electoral college is over and everything is over. Because the whole strategy is for Trump to raise money. And Trump gonna try to be rich out of this whole fight. This fight, as a Republican, I'm receiving letters from them, and they still want you to believe that he still got a chance to flip this thing because he want to raise money. Even though his wife is already looking for a school in Florida, they went to visit a school last week, $35,000 a year for that boy so he could go to school. And that was before the electoral college vote came out. Okay? What I wanted to say to you, yesterday I made a quick video and I told you that not everybody who voted for Trump voted for him because they love him or because they support him. But they did vote for him because of tax. And they figured that Trump would be very good for them. Their taxes would stay down. And if Biden is elected, a lot of them thought that their taxes would go up, which is ridiculous. Because let me tell you something, you probably end up spending more money in taxes, but what's going to happen is when in a case like that, in a bubble up, you may end up making way more money. If you was in a real estate business during the past year, your business been dead. If you had a restaurant, everything been dead. And while everything was happening, it was happening because of COVID. But Trump was telling you, he was having those rallies, he was telling people not to wear masks. He was doing everything to keep the virus going. And more people end up infected, and look where we are today. Now we got way more people because of his negligence, because of a lack of leadership. Okay. Here you have a new guy, he's talking about he wants everybody to wear a mask for the next 1 year. Because even though you have a vaccine, that doesn't mean it's over. It means that with the vaccine, you're going to have to protect yourself. Because if you don't get this virus, you better off. If you get it, because this thing, even after you don't have it anymore, it still causes other damages to your liver, to your intestine, some people your heart. And then the medicine, the medication that you taking for this thing, just like Trump is telling you, oh, now I'm cured because they give me this, they give me that. When you introduce all these new medication to your body, just like you see in those commercials, they say, okay, something is good for your hair, it's good for your heart. And then they give you all these side effects. Yes. Okay, so now you don't have COVID, but what about those medicine, the side effect that they left in your body? And it may take 6 months, it may take 7 months, and then they start. Why you want to put yourself in that position where you could protect yourself so you don't have to get the virus? And this is one of the reasons why I'm so happy that this man is not going to be the leader. Because right now, with Biden, okay, yes, no problem. We're gonna pay more taxes. Yes. People who make over $400,000 gonna pay more taxes. But at the same time, the stock market is very happy because a lot of different things. A guy like me who's a day trader, okay, right now this morning I'm counting on Microsoft stock to go up. Okay, a lot of them went down yesterday, but a lot of them gonna be going up today. And they're already going up because now that Trump is in the rearview mirror. And the Republicans, the Republican Senate, they did a gamble that probably gonna cost them a lot. Because I don't think there's a possibility that they may not win Georgia. The American people are not stupid and they're not blind. Okay? They see what they did here with all these members of Congress who try to support Trump and helping him, okay, and stealing the election from Biden. American people are not that stupid, including Republican. Because their miscalculation is, there's a notion in this country that a lot of people think the Democratic Party is all black. They always in the back of their mind thinking that the Democrats are a bunch of black people. Black people represent 12% of the population of the United States. That means you're talking about 42 million people, around that number, okay, in a country of 230. But still, Trump and a lot of Republicans, a lot of people, they see me talking. One guy yesterday, I had to tell him on YouTube, he automatically thought I was a Democrat. Because there's this notion that every black person in this country is a Democrat. Okay, they don't think there's Republican black, or they don't think there's a Republican who don't support Trump. Because they figure that if you are a Republican, you're supposed to be a Trump supporter. It's not true. Okay? And not every Republican listen to those idiots on Fox News, okay, who's telling you about the Dominion voting machine. All of a sudden, every supporters or people who listen to Trump in Fox are talking about the Dominion voting machine like this is something they have at their house, like a microwave oven. Like they know so much about its mechanic and everything else. Because they're just repeating after the people on Fox News. This is called monkey see, monkey do. Not too many smart Republicans like me out there that could take for themselves. They're doing all this thing because they think that they're repeating after the big monkeys on Fox News. You imagine if George Pirro was on the Supreme Court, where we would be today? But the American people, they're not that stupid. There's a few stupid people who listen to Fox News and go to all this. A lot of Republican people like Dick Cheney, people like the Bush family. I would give you so many people who don't support Trump, and they are Republican, they're smart Republican, including some who used to work for Trump. Now look what happened with Trump and his Attorney General Barr. He attacked him because the guy said that there was no fraud in the election. The guy was the head of cybersecurity. Same thing. Somebody come out and tell the truth, you get fired. Barr resigned though. Barr didn't wait for him. He was going to fire Barr. I think Barr beat him through it. Barr resigned before he get fired. And Barr did not tell him about the investigation of Biden's son, which I think it's all BS, because eventually, okay, I think he's going to be, because it was all about nothing. And that's exactly why Barr did that to them. They were investigating them, but they never say anything to Trump. And Trump is pissed because he could have used that to win the election. But the thing with Trump, he never came to the election like a politician thinking that I could go into an election, into a campaign, and do the right thing as a president. In the back of his mind, and that's what he's been thinking about 2016, that he could do this and he could steal an election. And the strategy was, he told the people, don't vote by mail. Wait for the last day and go online and vote. And that was the biggest gift he gave to Biden. Because Biden was quiet and give him the street, let him talk. So what happened? The strategy was nothing but a way for him to try to steal the election. Just like you see the day that the Supreme Court justice died they rushed this new lady in there so they could control the Supreme Court. Everything the Republican been doing, listening to Trump, fell because Trump is a failure. Trump is a loser. And the Republican Party is about to turn itself into a loser if they continue to follow Trump. Because there's nothing you're going to win following Donald Trump. So what happened? They put, okay, so now they control the court. They did all of this. At the end of the day, the same people they put in the court turned around and told Trump to go sit down and shut the hell up. You're not going to steal the election. I have my integrity to protect. And I'm not about to get into your drug deal. Just like John Bolton told him. You and Giuliani. So guess what? He lost the election. And guess what? You see Georgia? Republicans in Georgia may turn around and really screw them over there. Because they got that same drug deal going up in Georgia. They're moving, they're doing the same thing, closing polling places because, like I told you, they're so stupid. They're doing all this in black neighborhood thinking that all Democrats are black. Because many of them, they think Obama got elected twice and it was elected by black people. And that's how stupid they are. And guess what? They're going to lose it. Just like this man could have went into an election and said, okay, Biden gonna raise your tax. I'm gonna give you a tax break. He didn't do that. He was so busy trying to steal the election and was so sure of himself. He never gave nobody no stimulus package. He never did anything for the virus. He kept telling you the virus is a hoax. And all these strategies is why today he's not elected for another term, because none of it worked. And all these Republicans who's trying to carry water for him, they all going to sink right there with him, because the American people, Republican and Democrats, are looking at them. And now that he's already in the rearview mirror, nobody want to support a loser. And people are not stupid. People know that all these maneuver that Trump was doing, it was all about raising money. And he raised over almost $400 million. And this is from small donors. Those are the people who could have used the $1,200 check. Those are people who could have used the $600 unemployment check. But those people, he's begging them to send him $25. And from their pocket, they didn't get anything out of it. The people who got something from Trump were the top 10%. And those are the same people who rejected him because they know he was a disaster and another 4 years of him was not going to be good. Even though he helped them quadruple their wealth, their fortune. They made so much money between the tax break that he gave them, deregulation, and those are the same people who are so smart and see that the man was a disaster. Because if you're going to have this virus for the next 10 years and you're going to tell me that you're going to ignore it, it's a hoax, it's this and that, so why would I keep you? And you keep having these rallies. And even the thing with Trump was, those rallies he was having, he never talked about what he was going to do for anybody. It was all about attacking people and all of that. Those people who went to those rallies, I bet you so many of them didn't vote. Because the 74 million people that voted for Trump, those are people, a lot of them are Democrats or people who thought that Biden was going to close down the economy and Biden was going to raise their taxes, even though they don't like Trump, but they don't like that idea. And he was able to do that. But many of them, because the majority ended up voting for Biden. And at the end of the day, what happened? Everybody, whether he was the Supreme Court. You think you're going to tell me, oh, Trump with the Dominion machine and all of that? He never had a case. They went to court, him and Giuliani. Giuliani looked like an idiot, a super idiot. And all Sean Hannity and all of them on Fox News. Okay, this morning, I can't wait to hear what they're going to say. Because what they're going to say? Biden stole the election? What power Biden had? They never understand democracy or a republic. A republic is all about the people. If only Trump read his job description and understand that this was all about the people who elected him. It wasn't about him. But he see himself as a big bully because he had Vladimir Putin behind him, and he could always steal the election because he stole the election in 2016. So he was counting. What did he say he was going to do? Instead of attacking people, he could have a regular campaign just like all the other presidents we had before him, in promising you things, a good program. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. He inherited an economy that he never understood what was going on. Okay, American industry, the big companies like Microsoft, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, okay, Apple Computers, Amazon, Google, they're the people who give you a good economy, not Trump. Trump just take credit for it. Yes, he influenced that. But at the same time, he was in the middle of a fight. He was fighting Amazon. He accused Amazon of taking money away from the post office. So as soon as he did that, what Amazon did, Amazon went, and now you see all these Amazon trucks in the street. That's how stupid Trump was. So all of you who think he was a genius, he was an idiot. He went and started a fight telling you that the post office was losing money because Amazon wasn't paying them enough. So what Bezos did, he went and started his own post office because he got the money. So now, guess what? All these things that Amazon used to ship to the post via the post office, now he got his own competition for the post office. Now the post office is really losing money. Not a lie now. It's for real because of Trump. And I could give you so many things that Trump did. The same thing with the China problem. Okay? He tells you that China, the tariff and all of that. But who was paying the tariff? The American consumer. I just bought a 3D printer from China. Okay, the tariff, I paid it. Because the company in China who shipped it to me, they didn't pay it. I did. Because the price, they cost me more money. And I was the one who paid the tariff to the government. Another thing, the idiot. I mean, Trump got to be the... You want to tell me, what about the stimulus? You have all these people, all your supporters, not all of them are rich, because the rich people, even though they got their money out of your pocket from you, they all went for Biden at the end. But the one who stay with you, those are the ones who live in the trailer park. And some of them right now, they hold the trailer park 6 months, 7 months. And the Republicans are saying, we're not giving no check, no $1,200 checks. And these people, a lot of them are sitting there looking at the ceiling like President-elect Biden said. They don't know, they don't even know where they're gonna get money to even go to the supermarket. So you want to tell me you couldn't help them with a stimulus package? And they did all of this. And eventually what's gonna happen is the next stimulus package is going to be coming from the next Democratic administration. And by that time, believe me, so many people are going to turn their back on the Republicans. Watch. Because everybody's so blind following Trump. Trump is no economist. Trump don't even understand business. Okay? And many of you think he's a businessman. Nobody who understands business is going to be out of 6 bankruptcies. Okay? So here you are. We wake up today, we got a new president because the system worked. And Trump, with his bully, with all his power as a president, with everything he could do, he tried and he lost. Okay? He got all the Supreme Court was part of his strategy to steal the election. But these people, they're smart. They're not idiots. And they wasn't going to be part of no drug deal and stealing 20 million votes for Trump. Okay? And the system worked, the institution worked, and the people power. I mean, you in a republic, you are in charge. Okay? Trump think he's your boss. The only reason he think that is because he's ignorant. In a republic, the people, the voters, the public is in charge. Every 4 years, you own the store and you put a store manager. And that's what Trump was. But Trump was the store manager who think that he's your boss. He didn't know, because he never read his job description. All the fortune in the United States, if I go outside right now, all the cars, all the houses, they don't belong to the government. And they don't belong to the president. It's not like in a socialist country where there's no free enterprise. If I go to McDonald's, it's not owned by the government. It's owned by the people. It's all, that's why it's a republic. It is all about the public. Okay? It is not about the president. The president is, I saw Trump talking to a reporter recently and told the guy, you don't talk to me like that. I'm the president. I'm still the president. Trump, he's your boss. You're not his boss. You're the one who shouldn't be talking to him like that. You should show him respect because he's a voter. He just fired your ass because you are stupid. Okay? And this is what a republic, next time you need to read about this thing before you get into it. Don't let a bunch of idiots telling you what's going on or agree with you. Oh, you're the boss. You're not the boss. I'm your boss. As a voter. And as a Republican, I voted against you and I fired you. You didn't fire me. You out of a job. You don't have no power right now. It's over. The public. It's a republic, mister. Just go and Google that word, republic, and you'll see. It is all about the public. It's not about the president. The president is a storekeeper hired by the public to run the store. But the store is owned by the people. The banks, General Motors is not owned by the government or Trump. Okay? Ford, McDonald's, the beauty parlor that you go to, they all owned by the people. And those are the people who hired Trump. And they pay taxes and they keep him going. Trump is nothing but a servant of the people. And those people, they pay him and give him money to take care of business. The infrastructure he was supposed to do, he didn't do it. Okay? The notion that he thought Vladimir Putin was going to give him a second term, never thought about voting. You know, let me give you about a strategy that Trump did in the last election. Trump told all his supporters not to vote by mail, to go online, to go in the line, to go out there. Even though there's COVID, don't wear masks or whatever, go out there and go vote. Okay, let me explain you that strategy so you understand it. He did that because he was going to do exactly what he did. What they do, they count those votes first. The people who went online or who was on the line who went to vote in person, they counted their vote first. The vote that were mailed in, they count them second. Instead of Trump campaigning to do his thing, he did all these rallies and telling some people, he even told the people to vote twice. And they should actually pull his ass in court for that. He did say, he asked the people to vote twice. Which was, he's like him asking his supporters to break the law. So yes, they went and they voted. And when in the beginning, they start counting them, and Trump was ahead. He was ahead, just like he said. And all of a sudden now they start counting those mail-in ballots. And now it's so easy, because I voted by mail. My wife and the majority of people that I know, they voted by mail. And they count those second. So yes, he was ahead in the beginning, but when they start counting those votes, that's when. And he got a lot of votes. It's not that there was no landslide, because Trump did get a lot of votes. But Trump was always in the same margin of error that he was, because in 2016, he lost the popular vote by 3 million votes. This time, he lost the popular vote by 7 million. So, like I said, there was enough reason for him, if he did his homework and campaign like he could have, and make the case that don't vote for Biden, vote for the Republican, because, listen, he's going to raise your taxes, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. He could have done all that. But the problem with Trump was he came into the election as a liar. Because he's a liar, it got to a point that many people didn't believe anything Trump said. Because you spend 3 years lying to the people, after a while, they just figured that even when he was telling the truth, he was lying. Also, you see all those rallies that he was doing? Many of those people who went to those rallies didn't vote. Many of them didn't vote. Because even if they did, there wasn't. He's standing in a stadium and he fill up a stadium of what, 150,000 people, of 200,000 people. A lot of those people are Democrats. They just come there to see a clown making a fool of himself. That doesn't mean all those people you see watching Trump in those stadiums, they were all Republicans. There were a bunch of people who just go there for the ambiance, to see beautiful women, to see different other things got nothing to do with Trump, or even just to watch Trump making a fool of himself. But in his mind, because he's a egomaniac, he's a narcissist. He don't even need those people. He don't care. Because when he had his hotel, many of those people you see, those people who follow him, they probably wouldn't even let them in. That's how he is. And just like you see all these people who work for him as a narcissist, and it's like Barr, look how he turned around and started attacking Barr and so many Republicans who didn't want to go along with his drug deal. You see how he attacked them? Because narcissists are like that. They want you when they want you, and when they finish with you, they just kick your ass. They just put their foot up your ass and tell you to keep walking. I'm done with you. And he did that with his first attorney general. He did that with the second. And all Barr said was, the election was good. Same thing with the guy who's the head of cybersecurity. He turned around and fired him because the guy said, no, this election was clean. Yes, it was clean. And he went to so many court and went in front of so many judges that he picked, including the Supreme Court. Biden gave a nice speech yesterday, and people should listen to it. But I know the majority of Americans are good people. And a lot of those people who were following Trump, by now they're waking up this morning knowing that they were following a loser. And I hope many of them stop listening to Fox News, because it's nothing but a propaganda and a bunch of lies. And they still, they just put Trump, in order for him to continue raising money, He just put a lawsuit, I think, in New Mexico, who probably have about like 4 electoral votes. Because he said he put a bunch, but those things, like I said, they have nothing to do with changing the election. He want to show you that he's fighting in order for people to send him money, and he's going to continue to raise money, and that money is going to his pocket. As long as they like $25, anything less than $6,000. And it was never about changing the vote. This whole fight going to continue, and Trump going to continue to raise more money, because now he's turning politics into money. And he's going to raise the money, and he's still going to go bankrupt. Because it's always been the history of Trump. He's not a successful guy. Okay? And that's why he only did 1 term. I mean, it would have been easy for Trump to do a 2nd term. For all the tax break he gave. The war with China, it was stupid. And a lot of the Republicans, especially a lot of entrepreneurs, let me tell you something. America needs China. Don't listen to Trump with that stupidity. Because a lot of the product, your iPhone is built in China. Tesla built their cars in China. General Motors sell their cars in China. Ford, many of the products you see here, they are licensed. Yes, we have a problem with them with intellectual property. But Trump never did anything about it. That is a problem. Because they be stealing ideas that we have and try to water them down and doing different things. That is wrong. And yes, we need to go after them. And Biden should really press them on that. But at the same time, they have a big market. Okay? You have like billions of people in China, billions. So there's a lot of consumer. So if you make any product in the United States that you could export to China, you're going to make yourself some money. An American corporation make a lot of money because this is a den of consumer. But this whole fight with China, with Trump, was nothing but a publicity stunt. Because the real deal about the intellectual property, okay, after 4 years, what do Trump have to show for that? What kind of deal he did with the Chinese about intellectual property? Then you got this immigration thing. And this idiot yesterday who was talking to me, oh, you support Trump because he's going to let all these immigrants there. I'm an immigrant, dopehead. So do Trump. His mother and father are immigrant. He's a son of immigrant. So his wife. Trump never married an American woman. He always get an immigrant. But he's the guy who give the immigrant the big thing because it was all a smoke. So many of you don't even remember that his wife is an immigrant. So when he wanted to marry a woman, he didn't go to Fifth Avenue or Park Avenue because those people rejected him. They didn't want their daughters to take Trump. Trump had to marry down by going to Eastern Europe twice. So you're telling me, oh, because he's going to open the door for immigrant. Trump is the immigrant, and he got a wife who's an immigrant, dumbass. That's why you voted for him? The wall, remember that wall? Mexico was going to build. Please. I'm so happy we got rid of this virus 45. That's what Trump was, COVID 45. And hopefully we have a vaccine in the horizon. By next year around this time, I'm sure millions of Americans would be vaccinated and would be protected. And we would go back to normal, okay? And the stock market gonna do good. A lot of new businesses. We're gonna have America 2.0 after this virus. Because they're going to be a lot of we're going to be doing a lot of things differently. A lot of people are going to be working from home. Zoom and all these different things. This is what we're going to be. Okay, we don't need, you could open a business and you probably sit at your house and you could have people in India, people in Moscow, people in different places working for you, and on the computer, you could do that. The next thing that I would like to do, I would like to ask the Biden government to help minority businesses. Okay, minority is going to have to start thinking differently now in America 2.0. The notion that everybody want to open a restaurant, please. You see what happened to restaurant. Okay? Enough restaurant. Let's go into other things, other areas. Beauty parlor, barber shop. Let's stop thinking bigger. Okay? Let's become government contractors. Let's work in for defense. Because the government spend, what, $600 billion in defense? We want to ask the government, the Biden administration, to help us, help entrepreneur in minority or in the country to start working and getting set aside in that government contract, in defense contract. That means, yes, Boeing and all these big companies, Sperry Corporation or whatever, okay, we need now to have them help small business become their subcontractors. That means minority-owned business, women-owned business. Okay, instead of everybody want to be a truck driver, okay, maybe you could start a small company where you could design and work with product that the government buy every year. So that $600 billion don't just go in one pocket. That means you could split it. Okay, so it's not going to be a consumer market. It's going to be your own taxpayer money coming to you and helping you create job in your community. Okay, so set aside would be, that means, okay, the company buy telephone. Okay, good. So me and 5 other guys, we're going to build telephone, office phone. Okay, we do injection molding, or phone. Okay, they give you perhaps the diagram or the engineering drawing, and then you build it. You send it to them, they inspect it, they help you build it better, and you have a factory where you hire maybe anywhere from 12 people to 60 or 70 people. And those are things that the government constantly buying. Okay? So instead of you having a restaurant, you could have a small manufacturing company where you build shoes for the people in the military. Or parachute. Maybe you know how to use a sewing machine. Or maybe those masks. Okay? So instead of waiting for the consumer market for you to advertise or sell on eBay, now you could be guaranteed a contract directly from the government. So a government, like a Democrat government, where it's all bubbled up, that means you could get a small business administration loan to start a manufacturing operation where you're going to make parachute for the government. Okay, so you make it, they help you with quality control. Universities around you could actually help you, maybe filling out the papers, getting the loan, and doing all the necessary. It's like building business incubators everywhere. And I'm not talking just for black, because there's a lot of poor whites who could use the same thing. And this is the kind of idea. This is what America 2.0 need to be. It's not all construction. We want, instead of China building everything, this is how we're going to build stuff here. Because if you start selling to the government and you have the manufacturing, maybe further, maybe down the line, you'll be able to make consumer good that you could sell on eBay, or you could sell on television, or you could, you know, you could sell in this country. Okay? So let's start thinking that way, people. As an entrepreneur, I'm always thinking that, okay, we got rid of this guy. He's gone. But at the same time, what do we do next? And this is what we're going to do. Everybody working in a restaurant. Okay, maybe we need a new industrial revolution in this country. That means government cannot just take all their defense money and just put it in the pocket of a few companies. It's time now for the government to ex these companies to help people, American people, to develop small manufacturing operations so they could become subcontractors to those big guys. So the 600 billion of defense money could spread around in different communities here in New Jersey. Listen, anybody who want to talk to me about that, or we could have this conversation, we could develop it, because I did a whole white paper on that. Okay? It was a pleasure. I'm glad I did this. I think I'm very satisfied. I hope, I wish everybody a beautiful day. Thank you. And I also, before I close, I want to say to support Food for the Poor. Foodforthepoor.com. Okay? Even if you give them $7, $10. Okay? Or my millionaire friends, if they could use $1,000 or $1 million. Buffett, are you listening to me? That's my best friend, Mayor Bloomberg. I'm lying. I don't know Buffett, but I like him. Mayor Bloomberg I know because I work with him. I even have a picture with the mayor. And he's rich and he knows me. I used to work with him. New York City Park and Recreation. Okay. So, people, thank you. I love you. God bless America. Have a nice day. Bye.